time for This Week in Clarksville. And now, here's your host, Stephanie Miller.
Welcome to This Week in Clarksville on this Thursday, December 29th. I'm your host, Stephanie Miller. Prom season is right around the corner, and our local bridal and gown boutique, Wedding Bells, is set to host a prom fashion show. Find out where your teen can see the latest in prom fashion and what your ticket purchase will help make possible. And then it's hard to believe that New Year's Eve is this Saturday. Well, there's a fun event happening for your kiddos right here at the Clarksville Montgomery County Public Library. What the children will be taking part in if they turn out this Saturday, coming up. And then we head down to the Vine on Franklin to learn about wine pairings, what goes best with hors d'oeuvres, dinner, and dessert. But first, let's check in with reporter Sherry Reeves to see what's making the wrap in this week's edition of Main Street Clarksville.
This is the wrap for the December 29th edition of Main Street Clarksville. Tenova Healthcare in Clarksville has named a new CEO that will begin in mid-January. Drew Emery comes from a Texas hospital where he has served as CEO since 2019. This week we feature a retired Clarksville police sergeant who is now cleaning gravestones as a small business venture. He honors deceased veterans by cleaning their headstones for free. Meet Terry Minton in this week's edition and see some of the work he has accomplished. And it was just a week ago that the winter storm ushered in snow and temperatures below 0 degrees. We shared some of the photos this week taken by a guy who refers to himself as the dude with the camera. He used a drone camera to get these beautiful shots around Clarksville. And that's the wrap. I'm Sherry Reeves, Main Street Clarksville.
Sherry, thank you. Well, in just a couple of minutes, we hear from the owner of Wedding Bells to hear what prom ambassadors have been up to make the upcoming prom fashion show a success. We'll be right back.
The West Group at Southwest Funding has a combined 29 plus years of experience in the local mortgage market. It's our top priority to make sure the client is well informed and has a transparent loan process. Our focus is to make your journey to home ownership as seamless as possible. Once you close with the West Group, you are family for life. To become part of the happy West Group family of clients, call 931-266-0013 or visit us at thewestgroupswf.com.
As a busy mom juggling family, errands, and everything life throws at me, I try my best to be environmentally conscious. So of course, I buy flushable wipes thinking I'm doing the right thing. But it turns out flushable wipes aren't actually flushable. I found out the hard way when flushable wipes caused a clog and flooded my house with sewage. It ended up costing me thousands of dollars in damage and a big headache with the insurance company. It's safe to say our family will never flush a flushable wipe again, and instead put them where they belong, in the trash.
Welcome back to This Week in Clarksville. I'm with someone you may know, you've seen on here before. We're at Wedding Bells, and I'm with its owner, Lisa Forrest. Lisa, thank you so much again for sharing something that you have coming up.
Thank you. Thank you for coming back to hear about our upcoming events.
You're very welcome. So tell us what you have in store in the coming weeks.
Okay, we have a prom ambassador program where ladies and gentlemen from different high schools can sign up to be prom ambassadors. So they get to do a full-on professional photo shoot. We do a full-on runway show at the Roxy Theater. They get to earn discounts on their prom wear, and one lucky lady and one lucky gentleman is going to earn a free prom dress and a free tux. and that will be for the amount of tickets that they sell in their name to the runway show, which is on January 14th at the Roxy Theater. So if you want to see a good runway show with some local kids, this is a good chance to see one, and it takes about an hour, and we have 40 prom ambassadors.
Do you really?
Yes, and they're from all different high schools within the county, some male, some female, and then we have also a little girls like kind of fun pageant. We do a model call for girls from the ages of 2 to 12, and they come in and kind of do the same thing. They do a photo shoot, and they do answer a question just to see how they take direction and how they communicate and do on stage.
Right.
And then they have a little fake pageant that day that one from everybody gets a trophy, so everybody's, you know, accounted for, but one in each section will get a sash and a tiara, and they're like the winners, and it's all free, and everybody gets to come in and just kind of see what that pageant world feels like a little bit. And then we do a professional photo shoot in February that we use for our social media all year.
That's absolutely beautiful. So this is happening January 14th.
January 14th at 11 o'clock at the Roxy.
Share with me how you found your ambassadors.
Well, we put out a call at the beginning of around September, October, and then we cut off in the end of October, and we usually are full by that time.
Right.
We even have had ambassadors before from out of town, from like Nashville. We've had some from Dixon. We have some from Ashland City. I mean, they come from all over, but we generally try to cut it off at about 40.
Okay.
And so this year we're full. We've got all of our ambassadors, and it's just a real fun time. They get to try on different styles and see what they like, and it's just, they enjoy it.
It sounds like they would. And again, this particular event happening at the Roxy on January 14th, how do you get a ticket to go and see the event?
The tickets can be purchased at the door the day of, or the prom ambassadors all have tickets that they're selling. So they're at their high schools with their little tickets, and then you have to bring it in, and if it's got their name on it, the person who tallies up the most tickets at the end of the day is the person who wins the free gown and the person who wins the free tux.
That's
So
great.
that's what we do, and we're trying to put together a little package this year to be just a little more of like free nails, maybe for free dinner, for some, you know, hair, something like that. So we're working with local vendors to try to see who wants to be involved in this, to maybe just give that winner who really puts forth that extra effort to sell those tickets and get that show filled with a little more than just a free gown.
It really is that full experience of prom, gown, dinner, all the things. That is absolutely beautiful. What put this in your head to do something like this?
We wanted everybody to know that we're here, and that we carry at the height of our season about 500 prom gowns. So there's a large selection. They come and go about every week starting the middle of January. Right now we have a little over 300 in stock, but we've got about 500 more coming in over the next, because proms run till the middle of May.
I guess that's true.
So if they all sell out at the beginning, there's not much left for those that have to wait till the last minute. So we have them scheduled to come in about every 2 to 3 weeks, a big shipment, but we start off the season around January 14th, the Monday before Martin Luther King's birthday. That day off is like the big kickoff of prom season, and we'll be swamped. So we try to have a good selection in by that time. So that's why we wanted to do the runway show ahead of time, so everybody can see the current styles, what's popular in color, and just kind of maybe get an idea of what they want to do.
Oh, I absolutely love that. So I know how you said where we could get the tickets. How much are tickets?
$5.
$5. And then where does that money go?
It just goes to help us pay the Roxy to rent the auditorium and things like that. So,
well, what a fun experience. Lisa, is there
is.
anything else that I haven't asked that needs to be shared in reference to the event coming up?
Just let everybody know to please come to Wedding Bells First, because we're a local shop, and we have between 400 to 500 gowns on stock at any given time throughout the prom months, and we just love to help girls find their gown and see their dream come true.
And you have so much knowledge, dress knowledge, in this one woman right here. So if you have a question, she will have that answer for you.
And we also have prom ambassadors who work. Some of them need jobs on Saturdays and Sundays, so you may come in and be waited on by one of our prom ambassadors, and who better can help you find a prom dress than a girl who's also going to prom.
100%. That is so true.
And some of those prom ambassadors have gone on to work with us. We have one of our prom ambassadors that's been with us for 6 years now.
That is
and
that's
through college
wonderful.
and everything. So
And probably setting her up for success.
yes,
later on.
absolutely.
Lisa, that's beautiful. So before I let you go, one more time, where we can get the tickets and how much they are.
You can get the tickets at the door if you don't know a prom ambassador. If anyone if you have a child in the school system and they know someone who's selling the prom tickets, that will help them to earn, more points towards the drawing. But if you just want to come watch, you can purchase the tickets at the door. It's $5 a person. And if you have a child that sits on your lap, there's no charge for that child.
Fantastic, Lisa. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
So don't forget to get your ticket and be sure to be at the Roxy on January 14th. Stay right here. We have more coming up on This Week in Clarksville after this.
Here at the Journey Louis team with Benchmark Realty, we pride ourselves on the service that we provide our clients.
We believe in delivering a level of service that is above and beyond what is expected.
We don't cut corners and we are always available. We are committed to learning and continuously sharpening our skills.
We're social media experts, we're tech savvy, and we embrace change.
It is our unending desire to be our client's realtor for life. We are the Journey Louis team, leading you home.
At Miss Lucille's, we go for apple pie. A place that feels like a home away from home. A comfortable place to bring your family from out of town. It's a place where great conversations are had. It's a place where you can shop 200 small businesses in one location. It's a place for you to shop for gifts for any occasion or just to treat yourself. Come on down to Miss Lucille's. You'll be glad you did.
The West Group at Southwest Funding has a combined 29 plus years of experience in the local mortgage market. It's our top priority to make sure the client is well informed and has a transparent loan process. Our focus is to make your journey to home ownership as seamless as possible. Once you close with the West Group, you are family for life. To become part of the Happy West Group family of clients, call 931-266-0013 or visit us at thewestgroupswf.com.
Welcome back to This Week in Clarksville. I'm here at the Clarksville Montgomery County Public Library with Laura Hoffman. She is the Youth Services Supervisor with the library. First off, Laura, thank you so much for your time.
Well, thank you. Thank you for coming.
Oh, you're very welcome. You know, this is the Thursday before the big New Year's Eve coming up on Saturday to celebrate 2023 and ring in the new year. And our library is doing something special this year. Can you expand on that?
Well, we want to give our kids in Montgomery County a chance to celebrate the new year without having to stay up until midnight. I think the parents will appreciate that.
Most likely.
So we are doing a New Year's Eve celebration. We're going to have a balloon drop. We're going to have all the music and the songs and the dancing and treats and crafts for the kids to come and do their countdown and enjoy welcoming in 2023.
I love that. And this is just a little bit of a look at the balloons. This isn't all of the balloons that they're going to have, and you see just how many are in the bags right here. You know, being on a Saturday, is this something new for you guys to be able to put on?
Well, we have done it in the past, but it's been several years with everything that has gone on, you know. But we're really excited to bring it back as a major event for the library.
Oh, I can only imagine. So, you know, these are just some of the kiddos here today. This is a Wednesday that, you know, Laura and I are talking. So you see just the number of kids here. How many are you expecting on Saturday?
We hope for hundreds.
Hope for hundreds.
and that's not an unreasonable expectation looking back at the photos from previous events.
Now, do parents need to bring anything with them other than their kids? Is there anything that they need to contribute?
We have everything. Of course, it's the library, so everything is free. We have treats and we have crafts that they can make, and we're going to have dancing and music. It's all free.
I love that so much. What time should they be here?
So we're going to start at 11:30 with some warming up and getting ready. You know, they can get here early and really have time to enjoy the library itself. and investigate everything that we have in the children's department. We will be ready and to welcome them and have a good time.
And how long will it last?
So after the countdown, we're going to have a dance party, and so we'll have 20-30 minutes of dancing out in the atrium. We hope it'll be nice and loud. It won't be a quiet library on Saturday for sure. It often is not anyway, but so I would say 12:30 or so we'll be ready for kids to finish up whatever activities they want to do. And, you know, they can stay and enjoy all that we have to offer afterwards, too.
Fantastic. So make sure the kiddos have their dancing shoes on for the celebration on Saturday. You know, as we look forward to the new year, is there anything that we can anticipate after the new year here at the library?
Absolutely. In February, we're going to have a Love Our Library celebrations. We are already prepping for our summer reading program. So in addition to some of the special things that we do, moms and muffins, dads and donuts, just celebrating in every way we can with our story times and special events. We will be gearing up for our Touch-a-Truck that we did to open our summer reading program last year. We had over 3,000 people come to that event last year, and we look forward to making it even bigger and better this year. That will be the first Saturday in June.
Absolutely love that. Well, Laura, is there anything else that I haven't asked that you need to share or want to share with us?
Well, we are always ready for as many kids as possible to get in here to the children's department and enjoy dancing and singing and hearing stories with us. We hope that people will check out all that we're doing all the time.
And again, this library is phenomenal. We are so blessed to have you guys here. Just a great place to explore and to get away and just to travel to other places. You know, it's absolutely beautiful. Laura, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Stay right here. We have more coming up on This Week in Clarksville after this.
Hey, I'm John, one of the family owners here at the City Forum. Some people think I'm great at the games and attractions here, but I'm not. I'm fantastic. It's your mom. Might want to pick that up. Go low with 18 holes in mini golf. Channel your inner Ricky Bobby on the go-kart track. Play in Clarksville's only 7D motion theater. 10 lanes of family fun bowling. Don't forget about our big birthday party rooms. So come on out to the City Forum and try to beat some of my high scores.
Here at the Journey Louis team with Benchmark Realty, we pride ourselves on the service that we provide our clients.
We believe in delivering a level of service that is above and beyond what is expected.
We don't cut corners, and we are always available. We are committed to learning and continuously sharpening our skills.
We're social media experts, we're tech savvy, and we embrace change.
It is our unending desire to be our client's realtor for life. We are the Journey Louis team, leading you home.
As a busy mom juggling family, errands, and everything life throws at me, I try my best to be environmentally conscious. So of course, I buy flushable wipes thinking I'm doing the right thing. But it turns out flushable wipes aren't actually flushable. I found out the hard way. When flushable wipes caused a clog and flooded my house with sewage, it ended up costing me thousands of dollars in damage and a big headache with the insurance company. It's safe to say our family will never flush a flushable wipe again, and instead put them where they belong, in the trash.
Welcome back to This Week in Clarksville. We are at the Vine on Franklin. I'm with its beautiful owner, Emily Tragesser. She's going to help us go through some New Year's pairings for all of you out there getting ready to throw that New Year's Eve party or dinner. Emily, you're going to help us pair the best wines with whatever meal we might be preparing for the evening. First off, thank you so much for your time.
Oh, Stephanie, thank you for being here. It's a pleasure.
Oh, wonderful. Well, let's get started. You know, people typically do the hors d'oeuvres or appetizers. You know, as people are coming in, they're mingling around. So say they have a variety of cheeses and meats and maybe some little sweets. What do you suggest that we pair with that?
So I've said it before and I'll say it again. Champagne goes with everything.
I love that.
It really does. Maybe not a big steak, although there are people who will do that.
Okay.
But other than that, I would say champagne goes with everything. Or there are other sparkling wines out there. If your budget isn't quite up to champagne level, you know, there's cavas and proseccos and California sparklings. And Additionally, if you have a wide variety of appetizers, it's a good idea to have a nice rosé on hand because that's going to provide the most breadth of pairing options just because it's not a white and it's not quite a red. It has a little extra bit of tannin in there that a white wine wouldn't have. That'll help it stand up to like a meat appetizer or like a high-fat cheese.
So for those watching this, who's like, okay, so we get the champagne, we understand the champagne or the sparkling wine, but what's a rosé? What's so beautiful about having a rosé paired with that?
Well, the rosé will go with a wider variety of things, yeah, just because of the nature of white wine versus red wine and how the different the mouthfeel of it, the different levels of acidity, the different levels of tannins. So tannins, that's the reason why you pair, I know kind of skipping ahead here, but tannins are why you pair a steak with a big red wine.
Okay, a bolder red maybe.
Yes.
Okay.
So like this wouldn't have as many tannins as just a regular red wine, you know, like this would have. But it's gonna have a little bit that'll help it. You don't want your wine to fade into the background, right? You want the elements to be well balanced. So that'll help it stand up to dishes that maybe a lighter bodied white wine wouldn't stand up to.
And so what rosé do you have here that we're kind of looking at right now?
So this is from Washington State. It's a rosé of Sangiovese, which is a native Italian grape, actually. And Sangiovese is the grape of Chianti.
Okay. And Sangiovese, that is a good wine as well. I mean, I've had that Chianti's, and yes, so tasty. Well, moving on from your initial dish when you walk into a party, an appetizer or hors d'oeuvre, and you sit down to your entree. Typically, you're serving chicken, fish, or that beautiful steak or red meat. So let's start with a fish. What do you suggest if we're doing fish for New Year's?
So I would suggest something along the lines of an albarino. Because an albarino is, it has this slight salinity to it and kind of like a mineral character that will really help it pair with seafood, especially if you're doing raw seafood.
No kidding. Okay, because I'm familiar with, this is the first time I've heard of this particular wine, so I'm familiar with Pinot Grigio, Sauvignon Blanc, but this is the first that I've heard of the albarino.
It's a Spanish grape.
Okay.
Yeah. And so a lot of the vineyards where albarino is grown, they're close to the coast, so it's a maritime influenced climate. It's going to have, any wine whose grapes are grown close to the ocean are going to have that mineral salinity that it's just the hallmark of an ocean-driven climate, and just because of that, it's going to pair really well with seafood.
Oh, that's amazing. Okay, well, moving on from then seafood to chicken. So a lot of people doing the chicken dishes out there. What do you suggest for that? Would you also stick with a white?
I would. You could do a lighter-bodied red, like a Beaujolais, but if you're doing chicken, you don't want to overwhelm it with a big red wine.
Okay.
I would go with a lightly oaked Chardonnay, like our Wild Bee Farm here, it's a beautiful glass. Even those of us who don't always care for Chardonnay don't hate it.
Well, and again, I like the label. Do you ever find, and this is kind of a question off of what we're talking about, do you ever find people looking for those wines and just choosing because of the label? Do you hear,
I've been guilty of that myself. I try not to fall for pretty artwork or anything like that, but I do, if it came down to all other things being equal, I'd go for the pretty label too.
Okay.
But with like a roast chicken, that's going to be, the roasting part of it that really develops the flavors of the skin. And if you're serving a gravy with it, like a fatty gravy or something, you're going to want a wine that can stand up to that fat and just have an equal heft, if you will.
Okay. Now moving on to your red meats. Again, a lot of steak lovers out there, or say even if you're being, you have maybe a younger crowd with you and you want to just do a burger or something along those lines. What wine then?
Well, the science of it is that fats love tannins and tannins love fats. So what happens is the fats in a big juicy cut of meat will bind to your mouth, and they will stop the tannins from clinging to the inside of your mouth. So you still get the flavor of it and the character and nature of it, but without this feeling of astringency that you would get if you were just drinking the wine by itself.
I could listen to you go over this all day long, 100%. I really could. So that's where I tend to fall. I like bolder, peppery sort of wines.
Oh, like a Syrah?
Yes.
Gotcha.
I really do. And so sometimes even fish is maybe the one thing that I will not maybe pair a red with. I would always choose a white. But any other times, I always just go for the red. So I love that there is such a variety. If you're moving to desserts and you have a variety of desserts, you have whether it be chocolates or something vanilla or something with a little more flavor, what do you suggest then? I feel like I know what you're going to say. I do. I know what's coming.
Well, the one hard and fast rule of wine pairing, besides drink what makes you happy, is the wine has to be sweeter than the food or it's going to taste bad.
I've never heard that.
So
the wine has to be sweeter than the food. Jot that down as you're going out to do your shopping or last minute pickups.
Yes.
Okay.
Unless you're just a masochist or something. But if the food is sweeter than the wine is just going to taste strange in your mouth.
Okay.
It's not going to taste good just because of your brain's perception of sugar. So there are a wide varieties of dessert wines that you can choose from. One that we have right here that I have found pairs well with a wide variety of things is Vinsanto del Chianti. So this is obviously from Chianti.
Yes.
And it is a wine that is made by harvesting the grapes when they're very, very ripe, so leaving them on the vine for a while, and then letting them dry a little bit to concentrate the sugars before you press the juice out. So there are a number of other styles of dessert wines. So there's botrytis-affected dessert wines, which is how the famous wines of Sauternes are made, and the dessert wines of Hungary as well. And then there's the late harvest method, which I just mentioned. You leave the grapes on the vine until they've ripened and have just a tremendous amount of residual sugar in them. There's ice wine.
Yes.
Which the Niagara Peninsula and Austria and Germany are the most famous producers of ice wine. And so how that happens is you leave the grapes on the vine to freeze to a very particular temperature. I think it's between -8 and -10 degrees Celsius. And the freezing, the water crystals, they freeze, which concentrates the grape sugars, again, for pressing.
Now, what about a port wine? Because many people, do they not indulge in the port
fortified wines. Yes, fortified wines are also a good option, especially if you're doing a chocolate dessert.
Okay.
Yes, so port wines are an example of a fortified wine where fermentation is stopped by the addition of a liquor, which is usually grape brandy. And so if you have a port wine, that's obviously going to be a very big, very bold wine. That's something you can sip on its own. I mean, really any dessert wine is dessert in a glass anyway. You can just sip it by itself. But definitely for chocolate dishes, port is a good choice.
Well, I do have to, you have, again, been so great with sharing what goes best with what dish, but I do love something that you said about choose what makes you happy, what you enjoy.
Yes, the 2 hard and fast rules of wine pairing. Drink what makes you happy, and the wine has to be sweeter than the food.
I like that so much. Well, Emily, tell me, where does your love for this come from?
So my husband and I spent some time on California's Central Coast. We lived in Carmel, and we were stationed there for a couple of years. And while we were there that we discovered what good wine actually was, because Monterey County is a really big producer of wines in California. It's not as well known as Napa or Sonoma, but Monterey County does produce, volume-wise, I think the majority of California's wine grapes. And so there was a corner store just a few blocks away from our house, so walking distance, that would do free tastings on Thursdays. And so we just started going to those, and really that's where we were introduced to good wine.
Very nice. Well, I cannot leave you without asking about the Vine on Franklin. And if you have not been out here, you need to come and take a trip. First off, as you're seeing, the atmosphere is just, it's lovely. It's inviting and it's comfortable. And you can sit with your friends and enjoy a great conversation while having a spectacular glass of wine paired with phenomenal dishes on the menu, as you see here. Tell us about where this came from, why you wanted to put the Vine on Franklin right here in Clarksville.
Well, when we got back from Carmel, we realized that there was no place in Clarksville that had a good wine list. Mm-hmm. So we batted the idea back and forth for a few years, like, wouldn't it be cool if we could open a wine bar? And as I said, for a few years, and then I don't know what made me say it, but I said, you know what, let's stop saying wouldn't it be cool if, and let's go ahead and let's really try to make this happen. And I knew the ambiance that I wanted. I wanted an older building, I wanted the exposed brick walls, and I wanted the well-worn hardwood floors. And we were looking for, it was several months before we came across this particular property, and it was an utter wreck when we first set foot in it.
It's not now. Not at all. It's so beautiful.
Yes, it had been vacant for quite some time, several decades at least. Yeah, it took us 2.5 years from the time that we first set foot in here to the time when we opened our doors to the public.
Well, again, the wine, of course, you know that's going to be here because, again, the Vine on Franklin, of course, you know, referencing wine. What about your menu?
So our menu it's built for wine pairing. So it's charcuterie boards. Obviously, they have that, just the wide variety of things that you have there that really lend themselves well to wine pairing. So you have the cured meats, you have the cheeses, you have the crackers, and all the complementary items. And when you're pairing wine with food, you can do contrasting pairings or complementary pairings. And so with a charcuterie board, you have it all in one. Right. And then we have our seafood options. So, you know, speaking of raw seafood, we've got stuff that'll pair well with that Salinic white, or if you're the type of person that likes an oaky Chardonnay, we have, you know, the dressings that are on some of our dishes just marry very well with an oaky Chardonnay. Or if you're having dessert, you know, we've got all of those dessert wine varieties that I mentioned.
Oh, love it. So again, if you haven't made it down here, do take a trip. But I hope some of this information has really helped you be able to maybe set up the best pairing for your New Year's Eve or New Year's Day dinner, meal, lunch, brunch, whatever you plan to do. But stick with those 2 fast rules, and that is
drink what makes you happy.
Drink what makes you happy. And what was the other one? I don't know why it's slipping my mind, but what was the second one?
The wine has to be sweeter than the food.
The wine has to be sweeter than the food. Love it. 2 things. Drink what makes you happy, and the wine has to be sweeter than the food. Thank you so much for your time. We very much appreciate it.
My pleasure, Stephanie. Thank you.
Wonderful. Well, stick right here. After this, we're going to talk about how you can make your New Year's resolution work for you. We'll be right back.
The West Group at Southwest Funding has a combined 29 plus years of experience in the local mortgage market. It's our top priority to make sure the client is well informed and has a transparent loan process. Our focus is to make your journey to home ownership as seamless as possible. Once you close with the West Group, you are family for life. To become part of the Happy West Group family of clients, call 931-266-0013 or visit us at thewestgroupswf.com.
Here at the Journey Louis team with Benchmark Realty, we pride ourselves on the service that we provide our clients.
We believe in delivering a level of service that is above and beyond what is expected.
We don't cut corners, and we are always available. We are committed to learning and continuously sharpening our skills.
We're social media experts, we're tech savvy, and we embrace change.
It is our unending desire to be our client's realtor for life. We are the Journey Louie team, leading you home.
As a busy mom juggling family, errands, and everything life throws at me, I try my best to be environmentally conscious. So of course, I buy flushable wipes thinking I'm doing the right thing. But it turns out flushable wipes aren't actually flushable. I found out the hard way. When flushable wipes caused a clog and flooded my house with sewage, it ended up costing me thousands of dollars in damage and a big headache with the insurance company. It's safe to say our family will never flush a flushable wipe again, and instead put them where they belong, in the trash.
Welcome back. For those of you who have a live tree to dispose of this season, you can do that right here at Heritage Park. When you drive into the park, be sure to follow the tree drop-off signs. That location is across from the soccer complex. You'll notice a couple of trees here already. Make sure to remove any ornaments, lights, or any other decoration before you drop off the tree. You can make that live tree drop-off from now until January 9th during operating hours, and that is from dawn until dusk. Well, many of us are getting ready to ring in the new year and say hello to 2023. If you happen to be celebrating with an alcoholic beverage, be sure to equip yourself with either a designated driver, a number of a taxi or Uber service. And if you happen to see a family member or friend that's had a little too much to drink, be sure to take care of them by calling them a taxi or taking their keys. We just want to make sure that you stay safe and have a wonderful and beautiful celebration for 2023. And we will see you back here for This Week in Clarksville, the first week in January.
Thank you for watching this week's episode of This Week in Clarksville. We'll see you next time.